Hello everyone, I am Renown Zero. We are back again talking about the situation that I spoke about a couple of days ago, where I said that EVS was, yes, launching a campaign over on Fund My Comic. Now, we're going to be here discussing what I think about this further, besides what I posted on Twitter on the Fund My Comic Twitter page. Now, it is hilarious watching a bunch of weirdos and a bunch of my haters literally melting down when I never said that EVS shouldn't be hosted on Fund My Comic. I simply gave an opinion based on what would probably happen if the person gets hosted on Fund My Comic. So we're going to say this right up front in the first minute of this video. I don't care if EVS is hosted on Fund My Comic. However, what comes of that might be dire, considering he is a person who has doxed former customers before, and he's also behind on multiple projects, including Cyberfrog 2, because he chooses to not complete the head sketches because he's tired of doing them. And because someone made fun of the fact that he isn't doing them, he decided to push them back, which is what happened. So we're going to get into the Twitter post and talk about this really quick. So you do have the Fund My Comic Twitter page saying, so Ethan Van Sciver has decided to bring his toy racers to Fund My Comic, the CG Master Racers as he calls it. Yeah, pretty terrible name in my opinion. This campaign goes live tonight and his launch stream tonight. On his launch stream tonight. Lots of creators you have heard are participating. Don't get left in the tire smoke. Check out what's available here. I simply state, I reported about this yesterday. Personally, it's going to make your platform look terrible because the man has multiple late campaigns, including one that is 5 years late. I'm sure he'll just end up using your site as a storefront, and then when people don't receive product or in a timely manner, it will damage your brand. And again, a bunch of people got absolutely upset over the fact that I simply stated that this is what could possibly happen by being on your platform. Again, I'm not policing where he sells his crap. I'm not policing anybody spending their money on his crap. I've never once ever told anyone that they shouldn't buy Cyberfrog. That's not what I'm about. However, I choose not to spend my money on junk and things like Cyberfrog because he's a terrible person. Cyberfrog sucks. I've already spent money on Cyberfrog before. It sucks. I've gotten rid of pretty much everything I've had of Cyberfrog because I refuse to keep it around, and I think it's a waste of money. You do have other people, like Professor Savage Dad here, that says there's still worse crap than that. The honeycomb boxes are past the threshold of 5 years. If we want to talk about late campaigns, let's look at the people still trying to get their stuff for Cyberfrog 2, which I did just talk about. You scroll down, of course, people are asking me about my favorite Ripperverse books. I said Alpha Core 1, Bloodwolf 1, and Horseman, or Welcome to Forest Park are my top 3 books. You also have other clowns claiming that I allegedly waited for, or have to wait for a $5 sale in order to buy any more Ripperverse books, even though I've bought every single Ripperverse book during a pre-order, as you can see this person right here being an absolute idiot. Well, you played yourself. I've, again, bought every single book during the pre-order window, including ISOM 1, when all the babies and brokies out there were complaining about $35 comics, but they'll sit there and buy Cyberfrog 2 with less pages of story, a worse story in my opinion, and it's $35 after you add shipping. So it's the same thing. You have Dennis Rodriguez here saying, hey man, if you let this guy I don't like use your site, it will damage your brand. Calling me a cancel pig. Once again, nowhere in my statement did I say that he shouldn't host him. Again, unlike you women, because I'm not going to call you men, I'm going to call you women, because you guys act like women. You act like bitter bitches on the internet every single day. If I wanted to specifically say that I didn't want this person on the platform, I would have just said, I don't think you should put this person on your platform. But I didn't say that. I said that you would damage your brand by putting this person on your platform. I didn't specifically say that they shouldn't be on the platform. It's hilarious that these guys tend to forget that I made a video when Ethan was canceled from a New Jersey convention, I believe it was, and I specifically said in that video that he should be allowed to go to this convention regardless of how I feel about him or regardless of how much I don't like his comic books. He should be allowed to sell his crappy frog comics wherever he decides to sell his crappy frog comics. But again, because these guys see everything through a biased lens, they think that I don't want him on Fund My Comic. I could give a crap less. However, what I do care about are consumers who get their information sent to this individual, and they may or may not get their information put out there simply for refusing to no longer be a customer or for simply asking for a refund. You also have other idiots saying, Eric's out as Zalen would never be fulfilled. As I continued, I quote tweeted him saying, I made a short of me unboxing my Zalen order. You have other idiots like this guy who apparently just discovered their baby's first words with the word fraud with the letter E because they still know that it's both English and French. You also have other people who are also butthurt with their 1 hour ago 0 likes message. Saying I reported this yesterday. Breaking news from Target Incorporated to the 15 inbred followers, which I have over 1,000 followers on Twitter and I have over 2,500 subs on YouTube. If you really believe that every single person is like that, it's your problem, not mine. Don't really care. I don't judge people based on their looks. When it comes to my followers, I judge based on their character and their personality. I don't really care about what they actually look like. I honestly could care less. And then you have other idiots like this one saying, F off, Sturgis. You don't buy indie books. No one gives a F about you. As there are multiple people consistently caring about me by consistently talking about me, talking a bunch of noise on the internet, and having absolutely no effect on my mental ability to clown you losers on a daily basis or weekly basis. Actually, it's daily basis at this point. And you haven't been able to do what you ultimately want to do and deplatform me. We've seen this recently with certain individuals trying to send multiple privacy complaints and thinking he's going to deplatform me while he has absolutely no idea what he's actually sending, because he actually believes that he's sending me community guideline strikes when literally nothing has happened to my channel, which I would just move to a different platform and continue to make fun of you, and it would be business as usual. And I said, Ripperverse books are literally indie books. Pinned tweet on my timeline proves otherwise. Congratulations, you played yourself. Almost getting completely ratioed, which would have been even funnier than anything. But having said that, I could absolutely have confidence that Luke Stone, the guy who runs Fund My Comic, will absolutely take the accountability and take responsibility for someone not fulfilling their promises and fulfilling what they're supposed to be putting out there on his platform, because he has built a platform that he feels should be able to harbor anybody that wants to sell a product. Personally, the site's literally called Fund My Comic, and now it's Fund My Race Cars from China. But Fund My Comic creator policy reminder, at Fund My Comic, our policy has always been clear. Individual creators may have one active campaign that has not yet entered fulfillment. Publishers working with multiple creative teams may have up to 2 active campaigns not yet in delivery. No new campaigns may be launched until fulfillment on the previous project until fulfillment on the previous project has begun. These guidelines are essential to maintaining trust, creative freedom, and fierce independence, values we've upheld consistently for over 2.5 years. We've enforced this policy from the beginning, and will continue to do so to protect the integrity of the platform and our creators. So they actually tell you that they're trying their best to protect the integrity of their platform, even while having someone who has, again, doxed people. But again, at least they're letting you know that they're looking out for their best interests to protect their platform if someone chooses to break the rules. So there's no need for concern. We've got this. Fund My Comic was built by creators for creators. We're committed to doing things right and ensuring this remains a platform where professionals thrive. And it's hilarious because EVS isn't a professional, he's a clown. But you have Bruce here saying, does that include creators who have 4-year late campaigns on other platforms? Can they abuse a separate platform and use yours to put out another campaign? As long as they don't abuse ours, everyone gets equal treatment here. We don't do the trust and safety thing, political activism, general stupidity, or anything else isn't policed by Fund My Comic. Keep the campaign clean, sell on its merit, fulfill your promises. You get a shot to do that here. You can't do that, then this ain't the place for you. Going on further into that, Fund My Comic wants to make a further point by saying they've hosted a Muslim-hating comic, a comic banned by 4 crowdfund websites, a comic by a teacher decrying trans being forced into schools, body comic making fun of trans in prison, comic banned for being too similar, and that they've been doxed, slandered, threatened, and attacked. And it's a Tuesday, quote unquote. So I also I find that very interesting that they would even say all that, but hey, not my platform, not my choice. They are full-grown adults. They're allowed to harbor and platform an individual that has all these things in the past. Never once have I ever cared. It's not my business. It's the same thing when I say, people try to come at me about the revenue of the Rippaverse as if I'm the one running the Rippaverse, apparently, even though it's not my business. I could care less about the revenue there. What I care about is the product and the content coming out of it, and if I'm happy with my purchases from that platform and company. It's the only thing that should matter to literally anyone. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think that Fund My Comics should platform EVS? And if not, let me know as well. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, and returning viewers. If you do like this video, smash the like button. Comment below how you feel about this. Subscribe for more content. Hit the bell for notifications. Set the bell to all. That way you'll get a notification anytime I post a new video or go live on the channel. And I will see you all on the next one. Peace.